Oh, and we're live. Yes, we're live. Hello. Hi, and welcome to another Freedom Vibe podcast. And I'm your host, Adam Vibe.
And I'm Mizan.
And I'm Gohar right indirect.
Hey. Right. Okay. So today we want to discuss this Netflix and the new series that's going to come out in January, The Messiah.
New Year's Day.
The New Year's Day of all days. Sometimes when films are launched, when sometimes films of this caliber or the series are launched of this caliber, there's sometimes premonitions of what's about to come. I've noticed this with a lot of films, Die Hard 4.0 about cyber terrorism. It didn't even exist in those days. It was a new thing. And I saw that, I was like, wow, this is nuts. A few other films as well that took place in the past, Simpsons, telling about the future and so on. So this particular trailer that's come out has just had a massive internet storm. It's trending everywhere, and it's not the reason why we're doing it, because to be honest, I know no one's going to be listening to this or watching this YouTube live feed or listening to this for I don't know when, until we might catch someone's view. But
and if you are, then give us a shout.
Yeah,
actually, we give you a shout.
We give you a shout, man. But so look, the reason why we're doing this is because we got something to say here. There's people are analyzing the situation and tearing it apart, and like, okay, fine. And I was listening to a few things, and I was like, okay, really, okay, fine. I think people need to relate the facts to everyone else, because there's a lot of fear. Because it is quite a scary. If you're faith inclined, it appeals to all the faiths. Judeo-Christian,
three Abrahamic faiths, definitely applicable to them.
And it is a really, really intense trailer. Because as a Muslim, about Dajjal. So the false Messiah, Muslims call the Dajjal. Christians call him the Antichrist, and Jewish people believe that there's a Messiah about to come. And he will solve the world's problems. He will bring conflict to an end. He will solve famine. He will solve earthquakes.
He'll perform miracles.
He'll perform extreme miracles. So. And he will have a huge following. Social media, you see it everywhere. So he will be in 10 places at once. Like, this is stuff of fairy tales. But in the Abrahamic faith is depicted as
a reality
one day. And he is here. Some people say he's in an island. Some narrations have said he's in an island, chained up. Some people say he's already free. Some people say that he's going to be part of politics. Some people say that he's the media. Some people say that he's a physical person. Some people say he's a political system, or an ideology. He has one eye crushed like a grape. Ginger hair, curly, short stubbed, not exceptionally tall. So there's many depictions of this. He'll have disbeliever, as Muslims believe, stamped on his forehead. The word kafir, as a lot of radicals, throw around very freely, not understanding what the word means. A kafir is the one who rejects the truth,
covers it,
rejects God. Just reject the truth being God, rejects God totally. Says there is no God. And there is no faith. There's nothing. It's just me.
After the truth has been brought to him.
That's a kafir. That's what you call a kafir. Not a Christian or a Hindu or a Jewish. These aren't kafirs. But the Quran says about them that the people of the book, it gives them honor. So anyway, forget that. That's not the subject here. So what I'm saying to you is that when you look at this trailer, it's really intense. There's a few myths and information that you need to learn about the Dajjal or the false, because he's turned out to, in the actual trailer, he's a con man.
Yeah.
Is he converting people, or is he a con man?
It's both.
Yeah.
He's converting people to his
Way.
ideas and beliefs, and he obviously is leading them to a big, massive.
So if you notice, he's an Arab, yeah, in that he's more Middle Eastern origin in there.
Yeah.
He's not blue-eyed and pale-skinned.
That's
what
that's one of the things. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. So, here you have a program about a false.
What are you talking about?
Here you have a program about a false Messiah.
Yeah.
And this false Messiah just happens to be a person of color.
Yeah.
Person from the Middle East. Where if you think about the Messiah, you normally think about really a blue-eyed European man.
Because that's how what we've grown up with, right?
Yeah,
that's like Father Christmas being.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, so what I'm trying to say is, would Netflix do a program of the false Messiah being a European guy? I don't think that's.
It wouldn't have much appeal to it, would it?
It wouldn't have much appeal, but I don't think that would. I don't think they would do it neither, because of what we are discussing, which is that there's this depiction of the Messiah, like the rightly guided Messiah, being a white man, which is what we've been taught, and I think that really comes across in the trailer, because if you look at the majority of his followers, as we were just discussing, majority of his followers, even though not all of them, but majority of them are people of color. The people from the Middle East, Syria.
Yeah, you see and notice the little kids; they're all brown skin.
So that's it's very interesting that you have a program about the false Messiah, and he's really depicted as a person of color. Whereas if you have programs about whatever the real Messiah, he's normally being depicted as a white person.
But it's interesting because it's usually America saves the world from natural disasters or disaster, or all the superheroes are white,
and that's the same. That's the same thing in this.
They're mostly American superheroes.
Yeah, but that's the same thing in the trailer as well.
Yeah.
So if you look at the woman, she's
she's American.
Yeah. There American you go.
White girl.
Yeah. So she's onto this case.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
She's the good person.
Yeah. So I mean, we're going by opinions based on what we see in the trailer.
Why can't that girl be some Indian girl called Devinder or something, But it wouldn't have the same thing in it. From Punjab, you had a young girl from Punjab who saved the world.
But even for me, that would be a problem, because it will be a person of color trying to protect the world from another person of color. Why can't we have an Indian girl actually stop a European man? Do you understand?
Exactly.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the other thing.
She wouldn't be shouting Allahu Akbar.
Yeah. But why not? Why not Allahu Akbar be the superhero call? Why not? Just put it out there.
Oh, interesting.
Do you understand?
Oh, what would you call that superhero?
I don't know. Whatever.
The false Messiah.
Whatever. But what I'm saying is that is one of the things that I picked out already. Like, you have this Jesus-like person of color.
Yeah.
Now, would Netflix do a similar show and have a white man as the false Messiah? Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I know you come from. That's so interesting, because I didn't pick up on that, but now that you talk about it, it does make sense. So that's an interesting point.
But, there's a video I saw about the Dajjal, what the Muslims call the false Messiah, the Dajjal.
Yeah.
And Dajjal. Anyone want to look up on YouTube? Look about the Dajjal. Yeah. In depth goes into what this person's about. So some guy said he's in the UK, because they from the narrations of the Dajjal, of where he was depicted to be and how far he is from the particular place that it was narrated from, the distance was calculated that it was on an island.
Yeah.
In the middle of the sea.
Yeah.
And this island was of this much coordinates. So when you did that, it turned out to be the UK. Do we think Boris Johnson's the false Messiah?
No, of course not. But I mean, I think for me,
Boris Johnson.
Yeah, I think for me, I would say, look, I don't really spend my time engaging in these debates, because like I could die tonight. Do you understand? I could die tomorrow. So I've got more urgent things like my prayers and all that kind of stuff to sort out.
It's not as a priority. Although I've heard some people say it's in the Bermuda Triangle as well that he's going to appear. Oh, he's got to come out. But anyway, coming back to the trailer,
It's gonna come out my crack. That's
Oh my
Yo.
god! Yeah.
Well, hopefully that no one's got a chance of getting there as well. So he ain't gonna get many followers. You know.
So yeah, you can say hopefully.
Yeah. So coming back to the trailer, I actually think that first reaction, brilliant. I want to see that.
I think
I want to see that, man. That's got me like, yo, this is alright.
I think the film, the way it's made is brilliant. Just the trailer. I haven't seen
Yeah.
the film. You haven't seen
I ain't
the
gonna
that's
lie,
got
I
you-
like the music as well. The
That
music is
got me
heavy.
like hyped up, excited. I was like, yo, I ain't even got Netflix, but I want to see that.
I want to get Netflix.
Do you know what I mean? And it's,
I actually want to get it.
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
got relevance to like if anyone like the three Abrahamic faiths, but you know, and another way, religion is a big kind of thing in the world, rightly or wrongly, positively or negatively. It's a big thing in the world, and this is just, I think, has captured a certain mood and audience, and I think it's going to do well. So the first reaction was like, "Wow, I'm liking this. I want to see it." Then second reaction, getting more deeper into the whole vibes. All right, this whole, because a lot of Muslim viewers who saw the trailer, and this is also on the internet as well,
Mhm.
they clocked on straight away that it's the Dajjal, or it could well be the
Oh,
Dajjal.
yeah, if you're going to talk about,
Do you know what I mean?
you're
It's the
going-
Antichrist
you're going-
rather than Christ.
if you're going to talk about the Messiah,
Yeah.
right, and you're going to talk about a con man, then clearly it's going to be the Dajjal and nothing else.
Yes,
Yeah.
but saying that, I also thought, because all the prophets, or many of the prophets, if you read in religious scriptures, a lot of people thought that they were mad and they were conning the people too.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was the same, you know, the prophet, peace be upon him, Muhammad, Jesus, Abraham, Noah, like they were all mocked.
Yeah.
They were all kind of saying, no, you're conning people, or you're mad, or you're recruiting people, you're brainwashing people.
Yeah.
This was a claim that many of the prophets got too.
Yeah.
So I was also thinking, yeah, it could be, there's a slight chance he could be the real Messiah, and he's got this reputation because there is propaganda against them at the time. So that also ran through my mind, that maybe he is meant to be the real Messiah, but people are taking him in the wrong way. So that was also a thought.
I'd be interested to know, yeah, what other communities who have their Messiah already here say about this.
So I reached out to a few colleagues and friends from outside of our community. They haven't said that much, but that will be very interesting as well. And I say this because when I was watching the trailer, obviously I knew that this was influenced by our understanding of the false Messiah of the Dajjal. Now, there's two things I want to make here. First of all, this shows that TV producers, people who write movies and all that kind of stuff, they do a lot of reading or religious reading, and they get a lot of their inspiration from religious teachings.
Clearly.
You know, and I think that's the point, rather than a lot of conspiracy theorists going out saying that this is an example of the Freemasons trying to bring in the New World Order, for example. I think this is just a show.
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been from Uzbekistan, and with that new city in I don't know if you've seen Uzbekistan, the pictures of Uzbekistan. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, you need to carry on speaking.
I've seen
man.
pictures of
I'm gonna
Uzbekistan, but
I'm gonna
yeah.
bring this
not
up
the
for
thing
you,
that you're
bro.
talking about.
I'll bring it up for you. We can't watch it on the podcast, obviously,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
So I think that
Uzbekistan, everyone, and you'll take a look at it. Go on Google. type it
so
in.
I think that a lot of people are a lot of people who write movies and stuff are actually inspired by religious teachings, and they actually say, look,
Yeah.
listen, this will be cool, let's try this out, because it gives them new ideas. But also, it's like watching the trailer, one of the things that I realized is that a lot of the things that happen, a lot of the themes that the trailer touches upon, these ideas where the woman says, is he trying to convert them, or is he trying
Con
to
them.
basically is he trying to murder them? Do you understand? There have been a lot of false messiahs, let's put it this way, or cult leaders who have led their large followers to mass suicides. This happened in the United States. This happened in cults in the Middle East and all that kind of stuff. So there are actual examples of false small-scale messiahs, i.e. cult leaders, who made their followers believe that they carried out miracles or they can save them, and have led them to mass suicide and mass forms of killing themselves. So that trailer is, for me, it wasn't just based on actual religious teachings, but there are actual real life examples on a smaller scale of that happening as well.
So let's talk about the fear element,
Yeah.
because one of the reactions of this trailer, like we were discussing earlier, is that people have got scared.
Yeah.
People is like, because it's reminding them, if you're a person of faith, it's reminding you of the thing that is to occur. You know, for a lot of non-religious people or not people of faith, they probably just, it's just another entertaining kind of thing. But certain demographic of people have taken it and become scared.
Yeah, mainly Muslims.
So why have they got scared?
I think what it is that sorry about the mic moving around. I think what it is that there's a sense of reality, like, when a Hollywood film starts to bring reality home to you,
Yeah,
it becomes personal. It's like watching a horror movie.
Yeah.
And that horror movie plays on your fears. And we've grown up as Muslims and Christians as well. They've grown up fearing the Antichrist. It's been told to you time and time again, the story of the Antichrist. We've watched countless of horror movies, The Exorcist and other movies depicting the Antichrist and how it comes in the devil form and blah, blah. So this is the same with Muslims as well. When you're young, you've been told about the Dajjal. Dajjal will come, he's the boogeyman, and he will, destroy Earth. He will do this. So those fears are played on in your head when you watch this trailer.
But I think for me, there's something more added to it, because I completely agree with everything that you said. But I've always thought, what would it be like? What would it actually be like when these things are happening? Like, what would the world be like when the Dajjal comes, for example, and all this kind of, and this is actually giving you a vision. This is something that you can see right in front of you.
Think about it really carefully, yeah? We are in 2019, yeah? In 2076, yeah? I will be 100. Yeah?
Yeah.
I will be hitting 100. When the year 3000 comes by, yeah? And if I am alive still then, yeah, and they've got technology, obviously, to make us live a bit longer,
I doubt that.
You don't know, man. Anything's God's will, but in the year 3000 coming by, I'll be 120 something. Yeah, you're knocking 120. I'll be big biceps like Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
Running the world.
Imagine what the year 2050 will be like. We're in 2019 now, yeah. So in the 80s, we would imagine what 2020 would be like in the 80s, yeah. Futuristic cars flying. People made these mad conceptual things about it, yeah. So we're going fast forward another 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah? So in 30 years, I'll be 70. I'm 40 something now, so I'll be 70 in 30 years, yeah. So you think about how the world will be like then, right? And how crazy the times will be. What type of politicians will we have in the world? What type of people and corporations will we have in the world? What type of technology we're going to have? Now we've got mobile phones in our hand, yeah? So the power of social media will be very different when this dude comes around, because he's not here yet. But we can see from narrations there are elements that are happening now that are preparing for his coming. Yeah? And people need to fear God. They're going to end up in hell.
Yeah, but the thing is what the thing about this series is it doesn't bring you that in the future. It brings that to the present.
Yes, so which is what the fear thing is now, because...
But there's another aspect of the fear thing. I think, does Gohan want to say something?
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that before we get into the whole fear thing, I actually think it's had a positive effect on me personally.
Did you find God?
I didn't find God, but what I did do, it kind of reignited certain aspects of my faith. Like, because if you do believe it, exactly. I was singing that tune today.
Oh, man.
And it wasn't really. But what I'm trying to say is that it reminded me of that aspect that is to come. If you do believe in, the faith, that there is a reality of that to come, and it reignited that in me. And then, like I told both you brothers, that after at Friday prayers today, I actually prayed from protection from the Dajjal,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, yo, that's a good thing. And even when I was praying, there was an extra degree of, we call in Arabic the term is khushu, and is more like concentration and humility and God consciousness in your prayer. Because I was like, yeah, and all through that, seeing that trailer, because I was like, yo, this is gonna happen at some point. So for me, we're gonna get into the whole fear thing. This is gonna come in,
Yeah.
but it's actually been positive. And any fear, because even the Prophet, peace be upon him, he sought refuge from the Dajjal. Do you know what I'm saying? So
He
it's
sought
like,
refuge, but he was never scared of him. He sought refuge.
okay,
That's a
that's
different thing.
maybe another argument. Fair enough. But there's this thing that I'm just like, yeah, you know what? It's made me more God conscious in a way, in a certain respect. So that's positive for me.
There's these things like the one eye symbol, and Saudi Arabia's new logo when they created it 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
The eye symbol that's taken over the Saudi Arabian logo now with the palm trees and stuff. Yeah. And then you go Uzbekistan, Nur Sultan. So if you type in Nur Sultan in Google, you'll see pictures of. If you type in Uzbekistan first, and you see it's a very beautiful historic country. Yeah, a lot of history there, a lot of history, old settlements. Then you type in Nur Sultan, Nur Sultan. Yeah, and you're going to see some futuristic, mad city, man. Some like. There's like a pyramid in the middle of the city. That pyramid is actually a shopping mall. Yeah, nothing but a shopping mall. Then there's this sphere, like this weird sphere that it's got going on in the middle of the city. It's like something out of, I don't know. People have described it as like, oh, it's like the coming. It's going to foretell the coming of the Antichrist, and then you've got the Eye building in Riyadh. And Riyadh now has opened his gates to freedom. Saudi's opened his gates to freedom. And, a lot of people say, oh, look, this is the preparation of coming of Dajjal, and Lil Wayne is playing concerts in the Saudi Arabia now, and all these things are being said. Yeah.
What do you reckon of that? Truth?
Do you know what? It's I understand MBS, yeah, Mohammed bin Sultan, yeah, is Salman. So Mohammed bin Salman, he wants to take Saudi into the future, yeah, and he doesn't believe that it will go anywhere. He's trying to keep up with the times, but I think there's been a lot of destruction happened to that country already. And it is a very conservative country. Yeah. Riyadh especially was very conservative. And he's clamped down on a lot of those conservative people. That's a subject for another day.
Yeah.
But there's all these things being flown around, the eye symbol and Freemasons, and they're preparing for the coming of the Antichrist, and I don't know, man. I somewhat think to myself, you know what? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But I think it's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen in the next 10 years. It's not going to happen in the next 20 years.
Allah knows when it's going to happen.
Yeah, God knows better. But the thing is that for me, this trailer has made me think about a few things.
Yeah.
One is, should I get membership for Netflix?
Yeah, that's one of mine.
Because I I've cancelled my cable, man. I just cancelled my cable. I got rid of it. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I'm saving all that money a month, yeah. And I'm like, $6.99 for Netflix. get it for a couple of months, see the trailer,
See the whole series.
But do you know what it is? I don't like
Cancel it.
I don't like watching something and then it cuts off halfway and then I have to wait till the other series come. Like I just want to
No,
get
in
the box series.
in some series on Netflix, all the episodes are up on
Yeah,
one
but
go.
they've been released, right? So this one
So
is brand new. it's not
Ertigal
gonna
was
happen.
a thing that went around and about Ertigal.
Yeah.
It's like everyone was talking about it except me. I didn't like.
I haven't watched
I
it.
never watched
I
that.
watched one or two clips on YouTube. I was like, okay, this is deep, yeah. But you know, you didn't get into the vibe because everyone else was like, oh my god, what type of Muslim were you? Ever watch Ertigal? I'm like, what do you mean, what type of Muslim am I? I can't buy cable, man. I don't want to be subjected to consumerism.
Yeah.
That's all it is, yeah. So for me, do I have time to watch this and sit down? I don't know, man.
Yes.
I mean, that's interesting.
Damn.
You know, maybe this is gonna inspire some people to get Netflix. But the thing is, I just want to touch back on the fear factor again quickly because there is an element of the trailer that kind of sparked some fear in me. And it's the trailer where the actual woman in the beginning of the trailer says that, you know, he's leading desperate and destitute people. And I kind of empathized with that because, you know, if you're someone who's had a particularly difficult time, a difficult life, there's a verse in the Quran where Allah says that, you know, there are people praying for a savior. They're praying for Allah to send them a leader who can get them out of their, you know, oppression and dark times. So I'm someone who's always empathized with that verse because I'd like to see a leader. I want someone, you know, who can lead us out into different, you know, from adversity. So when when I heard the trailer and I heard that part, I empathized with that. I was like, yeah, you know, that's actually pretty nice. But then I started thinking, hold on, I'm actually empathizing with someone who's actually depicted as the Antichrist. And the scary thing is, you know, I can understand. I've begun to understand why certain people, poor people, destitute people, may actually end up following it.
Absolutely.
And that's the scary thing.
Looking for hope.
Yeah, but then that's a personal thing. And then you start thinking, hold on, you could see a bit of yourself in these people.
Yeah.
And that is the scary thing. I was
can
like,
understand
hold
that.
on. That is. Then you start thinking, you know, if you know, could you be one of these people? And that's the scary part. And for me, that's the part that got me.
And the
so
answer
scared.
to that is quite possibly. Do you know what I mean? Let's be real.
And there are hadiths that say that, you know, certain group of men will go to challenge the Antichrist, thinking that, you know, they can challenge him and they'll end up being his followers.
Well,
So that is the scare for me. And I think that's one of the things that has got some people scared. Because I've seen it on Twitter. Some people are like, yo, I'm, you know, on Muslim Twitter.
Let's just quickly, what we got 2 minutes, yeah? So there's 2 minutes, 7. Let's quickly watch this, see what it's like. You can't hear nothing, can you?
Not yet.
Not yet. So I mean, I think certain people have tapped into that feeling, and it's got them scared, and that's why it's come out with a good thing where, you know, some people are saying that, you know, watching the trailer has got me reading my Quran and stuff.
Yeah.
But because that's a positive thing, but it's tapped into that feeling.
But shouldn't we also be scared anyway? For this,
why do you need to be scared?
But there's a lot to be fearful of. Do you know what I mean? Of course, you only fear God, but I'm saying it's like, you know, some people are scared of the fact of they're gonna pass away. That, you know what I mean, that they're gonna stand before God on the day of judgment. There's enough, I think, if one delves into the scriptures, for them to kind of shake them up and strike fear in them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, there is, but I think what this has done has made it really personal, and therefore, by this method of personalization, is going to really think about whether you are really prepared or not.
Yeah, but my point is, I understand that point, and I agree with where you come from. I think you got great points. But those hadiths have always been there.
Yeah.
They suddenly, from being buried from people's attention, they've kind of come to the forefront.
Yeah.
So the hadiths were always there. They were always there to strike fear, like make people a bit worried. And, you know, I don't want people to be scared per se, but they were always there. They were buried. Now they're brought more to the forefront.
Anyways, I mean, just to end it off, from the scholars that I know and from the imams that I know who have made comments on this, they've said don't be scared. Basically,
Even the
learn your
priests are
deen.
like,
Yeah.
don't be scared of anything. Look,
Yeah.
basically, this is a movie. That's what it is. It's a movie,
Yeah.
or a series of film. Yeah, and it looks a brilliant production. Watch it. Don't pass judgment yet. You ain't seen anything yet, so just don't pass any judgment. I think a gentleman on the internet said that on your feed. So don't pass any judgment yet. Just watch it and see what you think. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Madam Vibes, and take care.
Good night.
Peace out.
Take care. Ciao.
Playing
And
that
goodbye.
was-
Bye, everyone.
sorry.
Yay.